So yesterday we have discussed about tab strip and table control wizard. In that scenario, we have used single input one like we have entered the single document number. So this document number. Even in the previous sessions also we have seen only single input value. So today I'm going to explain a range of input. So range of input is nothing but select options. Suppose if a user want to enter low value, high value along with multiple selection button. So in reports, if it is reports, we can write with a simple syntax or also will be used in this. Hmm. So if it is a report, directly we can write the statement, select options and field name, table name, right? So that it will be create a screen with low value, high value for the input value. But when it comes to multiple programming, it is little different compared to the report. First, we have to create the screen, then we have to create the select option. If it is a report program, directly we can write with a statement. But if it is comes to the multiple program, we have to create the screen. After that, we will create the select options. So first we'll see this scenario. Mm, to achieve this one, let me close it. Close this. 1 second. I want to close. Okay, let me open it. S38, and here let me create a new program. 05 19 2025. I believe it's the software creation of selections, create select options and model dialog box. So select the type as module full, then click on save. Save in your package and set the TR. So now click on display object list so that we can access everything easily. So first I have to create a screen because I have to write select options, right? So select options is nothing but first of all, we need to create a selection screen, input screen. When it comes to report, by default, SAP will create the selection screen on the screen number 1000. It is a default screen. But in module pool, we have to create it. So first we'll create the screen. So right click on the program name, create screen. So here I'll create the screen number 100 and it is for selection screen. So it should be a normal screen. So the type must be a normal screen. And in this screen, I will write a text. So here the text is Sales order details input screen. Save it. And also I need a button because when user enter the low value, high value, we have a execute button, right? Similarly, here I will click, I will create a button display. Suppose here I will create it. Not here. Let me create at the bottom. So here, what's the name? B1 text is display, and here also display. So in the 100 screen, I have created a text element here along with that one button. So in between here, I will create a select option. So let's close this one and we'll activate. So go to the main program, and here we have to write the statement selection screen, begin of screen. So whenever we want to create select options, first we have to create normal screen. On the normal screen, we have to create subscreen. Have you remember subscreen? Yes. Yesterday we have discussed about subscreen.
In such screen area.
Yeah. So it is like a sub program or sub area of a screen. So if you want to display something on the subscreen, first we will create a subscreen area on the normal screen. So with the help of subscreen area only, we can able to display on the normal screen. So yesterday we have created subscreen like this. If I go to 100 screen, if I go to attributes, from here onwards, like whenever I have created tab strip control, automatically system has generated a subscreen and it was selected this radio button subscreen. But right now, we don't create manually. We will create subscreen with a statement. Like we don't create a screen, one more screen, and here we will choose the radio button as subscreen. No, we don't follow this step. We will create a subscreen with the statement. So that we'll see now. So I'll go to the main program. So to create subscreen, first we'll write a statement like this. Selection screen, begin of screen. So begin of screen, suppose I'll create next screen number 200. So screen 200 as subscreen. So with this statement, system will create a subscreen. So subscreen number is 200. Every screen must have a screen number. So 100 is a normal screen, 200 is a subscreen. And selection screen, end of screen 200. Like we have written selection screen, begin of block B1, how it was created a block. Similarly, whenever we write begin of screen, screen number, then it will create a screen. Okay. So which type of screen will be create? Subscreen. And in between the screen, we will create select options. Select options. Suppose SVBELN for VBAK, VBELN. And here we will create tables. We already know how to create select options, right? VBAK. So to create select options, first we have created normal screen and then I have written this logic. Selection screen, begin of 200 as subscreen. Now this subscreen area I haven't created. So whenever we use subscreen, always remember 2 points. First, we have to create subscreen in the normal screen. Then we have to call the subscreen on the normal screen. So creation is different, calling is different. creation in the sense, visually we will create the element, and calling in the sense we have to write the syntax or we will write the statement. So whenever we are using subscreen, we have to follow these two steps. So let's go. So where is that? So I have to go to 100. So first I will create subscreen on the normal screen. So this is a normal screen. If I go to attributes, see it is normal screen. In this layout, I created this one. So here I will create a subscreen area. Whenever we want to create subscreen, first we will create a subscreen area on the normal screen. So this is normal screen. And this is the substring area element. So this element is belongs to substring area. So here I will create it. And let me drag this one to here. You can adjust it based on the positions. Suppose here. So name, this name you must remember, because whenever we are calling subscreen on the normal screen, we have to call with the name. Like whenever we want to call the next screen number, we will call with the screen number. Like call screen number is 200, or leave to screen number is 100. Similar way, whenever we want to call subscreen, we will call with the name of the subscreen. Suppose if I write sub, so this is the name of the substring, and save it. So whatever we have created, select option, that will be um, display on the subscreen area. How it will be displayed on the subscreen area? Because I have written a statement, selection screen begin of 200 as subscreen. Now here I have created a subscreen. So syntactically, what I have written the substring area, and it will be print on the substring element. Once it is done, save it and close it. Activate this one. And also we have to call onto the normal screen, as we have seen the second step, call the subscreen into substring area of normal screen. So first creation is done, then we have to call it. So I'll go to the flow logic, and here PBO, PAI events are there. So in these two events, now I have to call subscreen area, right? So before it displays the screen, it has to fill the select options. Like whenever we execute a report, for example, mm, if I take this one, before displaying the output or whenever we execute, automatically first it has to fill the select options. Similarly, whenever I execute this program, it has to fill the selection screen or input screen. So before screen appears, it has to be there. So which module I have to use to write the logic?
PBO.
Yes, PBO. So here, let me, here the syntax is call subscreen. So we have to call the subscreen onto normal screen. So the statement is call subscreen. So what is the name of the subscreen which I have given? That is sub. So call subscreen name, including current program. So what is the name of the current program? This one. But whenever we want to pass current program name, always remember we have to pass dynamically with the help of this system variable, site ID. And what is the subscreen area I have created? 200. So this is 200. So we have to call this 200. So here what we are doing, we are calling the subscreen so that it will be display in the output. Sorry, it will be display first. And with subscreen, the one which I have created. So where I have created on the 100 screen. So it will include the uh, current program name and also the screen number. So with which screen number I have created subscreen with 200. So this one will come along with the program name. So that whenever we execute, it will be first. So it shows first the subscreen area, whatever I have created, that will be displayed first. And let me create PF status for back button. So Z status PF functions. So this is for normal screen only. And back. So whenever user click on back, it should come back to the main screen. Main screen in the sense SAP initial screen. So to achieve that, mm, let me double click on it. So whenever user click on back button like this, it has to go to the previous screen. So previous screen says this is 100 only. So 100 before we don't have any screen, meaning that is zero. So whenever user click on back button, it should go to the initial screen, SAP initial screen. So to go to the initial screen, we used to give the screen number is zero. Zero in the sense anything not there. So if we click back, it will go to the initial screen of the SAP. So that logic should I write under PBO or PAI?
Yes.
Yes, PAI. So user click on the back button. So interacting is no. So whenever we are interacting with the button, we have to use PAI event. So double click on it and you can create new include program. In the initial class, I have created new include programs. So here case, you can take case or if, but here if we take case statement, performance wise, it will be very faster as we already learned. So when VACK leave to screen zero. So whenever user click on back, it will go to the previous screen. So previous screen in the sense 100 before anything not there. So that is the reason I have given zero. So it will go to the SAP easy access screen. And case must be closed by end case. Call subscreen expected dot. Mhm. Including side ID. Let's say not ID will expected after subscreen. Already we have given subscreen field name, but Mhm. One second. This one, I believe we have to write before calling the status. Okay, under the PBO event directly. So here, So we have to call the subscreen not in the module. Before we are using the module itself, we have to call. Like otherwise, it will give just now we have seen a syntax error, right? So always remember whenever we call subscreen, directly you have to write after the PBO event. Don't include in the module for the subscreen. Now let me activate the entire program. I haven't written any other logic. Whenever a user select on this button, it should fill the details. So I haven't written anything because you already know. If it is a table, we have to create a table control wizard. And if it is a single screen or like single field values, we have to use screen elements to map it. So this is a module pool program. Directly we cannot execute. We have to create a transaction code. Suppose the size selection screen. Selection screen. Try out box. So we have to select the first one for the module pool program, and we have to give the program name. This is the program name, and initial screen is 100. Select all these checkboxes, save it, and once again activate it. Execute. I'll execute in a new window. So sales order input screen and display. So in between, if you remember, I have created a subscreen. So on the subscreen, whatever I have written the statement for the select option that was printed. Why exactly it was taken? Because in the select query, not in the select query, it's that. So if you see this select option where I have written, if you see the statement, begin of screen 200 as subscreen. So in this subscreen only, I have written this logic so that it is displaying in the screen. And if you want to give the text element, go to the text element, selection text. Here we can use sales document number and activate. If I execute now, see. So in the report program, how we have a select option, a range of value, like you can select single value or you can give low value, high value, or else you can choose multiple selection button. So those all possible. And if you click on display, I haven't written any logic. Like whenever user click on display, something should be happen. Like that, I haven't written any logic. So that is the reason we are not going to any other screen, but mainly focus on this select and select options only because till now we have created only single input value. So that is the reason I have explained the select option. And you can write the logic with the table control wizard, like whenever user selecting, whenever user enter the input value, press display button, then you can call the table control so that you already know. Now, if I click on back, it will go to the initial screen, like SAP easy access screen. User can access it because I have written the logic state set leave to screen 0. So 100 before any screen is not there. So that it is going to the initial screen. Now, so this related logic you can write. Next, I will explain one more screen type that is model dialog box. So till now we have learned normal screen and subscreen. So next we have model dialog box. So model dialog box in the sense it appears like a pop-up screen. Suppose if I go to S11, not replying to start there. What should I show? One second. Okay. Best example. Let me go please with the date transaction code. And if I create a new program, see how the screen is visible. It is not full screen. If you see, this is not a full screen. Full screen in the sense this one, whatever we are seeing behind this. So this is the normal screen. So on the normal screen, if you see, a small screen is appearing like a pop-up screen, right? So this type of screen we call it as a model dialog box screen. So now, if you want to display this type of screen, so we'll see the steps one by one. So this is the model dialog box screen. So now, if you see, it is looks like a square, right? Suppose if I go to one more transaction code, mm, let me close this one. So leave about this one, whatever I'm typing. Just I wanted to show you model dialog box screen. See, this is also model dialog box screen. If you see this one, this shape is a little bit different. So the width and height we can give whenever we will create the screen model dialog box. We can give how much length it requires, how much width it requires. If it is a normal screen, see, it is same like this only. Every screen is a normal screen behind it. So if it is in AC38, it was displayed the same way. If it is MM01 transaction, it is also displaying same way. But this one, which is coming in front of that screen, this we call it as a model dialog box screen. So this screen shape might be differs based on the length and width. So depends on the requirement, we can adjust this one. But if it is a normal screen, every screen looks similar. It will display full screen. But when it comes to model dialog box screen, we have to, we can give the how much length it requires, how much width is required. Depends on that, it will be displayed. It might be rectangle or like it might be vertical, more vertical or more horizontal way. So whatever we are giving the numbering, based on that, it will display. So this type of screen we call it as a model dialog box screen. So let me close this one. Hmm. Now I'll go to a program. So I close this to this, this. Okay. So now I'll create one more screen because I want to show you a model dialog box screen. So to create the screen, again right click on the program, create screen. Now 100 completed, 200 I have taken as a subscreen. So next I'll take 300. And here, model dialog box. So now I'm not going to select as a normal screen. I will select it as a model dialog box. So right now we are going to create model dialog box too. So choose this radio button. Okay. And If you want to display anything or if you want to create any screen properties, you can create it in this screen. Um, so you can create table control as we have taken the select options. So same scenario, take the select options and take from Mara table or LIPS table. Okay, better to take LIPS table. It is a odd item table so that you will see multiple entries. So here I will create a single. So here I will create a single values, but take the table control and display multiple entries. Okay. So here let me. Oh, where is that button? Everything is disabled now. Not this one. This one. So sometimes it might be disabled in our practice server. Something is happening. It's strange. If it is disappear, also choose the middle one at the top. So give the table name and get from dictionary. So we even ER that. Next we'll choose. Let me scroll up. VB type and let me take ER name also. VBLN ER that ER name VB type. Okay. So once it is done, continue and place it. If you want to take any text, you can take the text. And here, let me take T2, name as T2, and text is sales order header details. Close this one. Okay. So save it. Oh, close it. So now it is activated. Now I'll go to the program. So I have taken four fields. So for the four fields, I need a structure. So I'll create a structure. This is the second class explanation, I believe. We already learned this one. Uh, VBAK, end of TY VBAK. So here VBLN type, VBAK, VBELN, ER that, then ER name, type VBAK, ER name, VB type. So for this, we need internal table and work area because we need to map to the screen element. So that is the reason we need internal table and work area. Type a table of TY VBAK, work area VBAK, type TY VBAK. So now we study structure and this already. So I'll go to 300 screen. So this is a model dialog box screen. So in this screen, uh, here two modules are there, PAI and PBO. So I need back button. So for that, I'll go to PBO event and I'll create set PF status. Suppose here, if I take CPF, now create functions. Here I will choose it as a dialog box. Now I'm going to create a back button and cancel button, right? So like this closed button. So if you see this screen also model dialog box screen. This is not a normal screen. If I drag and it is dragging. Like if I move the screen, but if it is normal screen, it cannot be moved. So if I want to get back button for the dialog box screen, so I can choose this screen type as dialog box. So that how the screen is having this continue and close similar way, it will be appear for our screen also. So here, if you see, continue, choose are there. Okay, let's see if I don't give anything by default, do we get anything or not? Okay. So again, I'll double click on this one. I'll go to process after input. Okay. So before writing the logic, first I'll see how it displays. So before that, what is our condition? Whenever input selection criteria is existed on 100 screen. In the 100 screen, user will enter the input like sales order number. In the subscreen area, I have created select options. So here user will enter low value or high value. But here I'm taking a single value, so I will give only low value. But whenever you are practicing, create table control so that you can enter low and high values. So after entering the input, user will click on display button. So whenever user click on display button, it should call the screen 300, and in the 300 only we have this fields which we have to display. So that is our logic. Here I need to change input field here too. And if you see, all the field names are starting with table name hyphen field name. This we require. Okay. To map the screen elements. So once you've done, close it, close it, activate it. So in the 100 screen, we have input screen. Once user click on display button, it has to call screen 300. In the screen 300, whatever it is there, we need to map it to the screen elements. So in the 100 screen, we have two events, PAI and PBO. So whenever user click on display button, it should call the screen number 300 because in this screen only we have the required output fields. So whenever user click on display button, so that related logic should I write under PBO or PAI, which is the right one?
Yeah.
Yes, PAI. So whenever we are interacting with buttons, we have to write the logic under PAI. So before back button, here I'll write case IUCOM already there. When display, it should be capital display. So when display, it should call screen 300. So whenever user click on display button, the current screen should be closed and it should call current screen will be there because it is a model dialog box and it will call the 300 screen. So on the 300 screen, we will print the output. So that logic we will write under the 300. So just here we are writing call screen 300 and it is not yet finished. So 300 screen is a model dialog box screen. As I mentioned, we have to give the length and width, like how much length it has to display, how much width it has to display. If you have remember, um, see how it is displaying this pop-up screen or model dialog box screen. So this width and length we have to specify whenever we are going to create model dialog box. So for that we have a statement call screen 300 starting at. So here we have to give the length and width. So starting at suppose 4, 5, ending, let me write at the bottom, ending at 90 and here 15. So the values which I have written 4, 5, 90, 50. So these are nothing but the values. So which I have given starting at 4, 5. So this we called as a top left corner coordinates. And this down one we call it as a bottom right corner coordinates. So which is nothing but length, like this length and width. So top left, bottom right. How much length and width we require, we need to specify. Once you give some values and check it how it is displaying and reduce the value, increase the value so that you will understand how it works with these values. Okay. So these two values we have to specify whenever we are using model dialog box screen. Whenever we are calling that screen, we have to specify the length and width, how much we require. Okay. Now I'll save it. I'll go to 300 because I haven't written the select query. So I will write the select query now. So whenever we call the screen 100, automatically it should fill the output. Like whatever the fields I have taken in this screen 300, this has to be filled automatically whenever we call 300 screen. So where should I write the select query, PB or PI?
PBO.
Yes?
PBO.
Yes, correct answer. PBO. Because in the 100 screen, if you get confused, let me show you the logic how I'm writing. If you see in 100 screen, uh, in PI event, so whenever first user will enter the input, suppose low value to high value 10. After entering the input, user will press display. So whenever user press display, it will cause 300 screen. So in the 300 screen, we have to write the logic, meaning the select query we have to write whatever the fields you want to display on the 300 screen. The 300 screen, this fields I have taken, right? So this has to fill. So this logic I have to write on 300 screen only. But you have to decide where you have to write PB or PA. So our requirement is whenever we call 300 screen, immediately it should fill the details of sales document number, category, date, and created person. So these all should be filled first itself. So that is the reason we are writing the logic under PBO. So here select VBLN, YADAT, YANAM, VB type from VBAK into table. Our internal table is ITVBAK and we have a where condition. So what is a where condition? Where VBELN. We have created a select option where VBLN in yes VBLN. For select option, we have to choose the operator yeah, in. So in S VBLN. Suppose whatever the user selected, that input values, if it is existing VBAK table, so we have to read one record from internal table, then we will map to the selection screen element. So first of all, we have to check whether the user entered input values are existed or not. So we will write if size subart c equal to 0, meaning if user has entered 5 to 10, if it is existent VBAK table, then it will print the data. Otherwise, we will write a message. Read table ITVBAK into work area VBAK index number if must be closed by and if. So here we will map. So first we will read everything. Now, whenever we will write the select query, based on the input selection criteria, it will fetch from the VBAK table, then it will store in the internal table. Now, we will read one record from the internal table into work area. So whenever we read from internal table, it will be stored in the work area. But this work area directly we cannot print with the write statement. It is a model pool program. We are displaying everything using screen elements. So in the screen elements, let me show you. For 300, what is the name of the screen element? VBAK, VBLN. So for this screen element, we have to map the VBLN value. For this screen element, VBAK ERTAT. So this screen element, we have to map the data. And for this screen element, we have to map the ERNAM field. So everything we have to map to the screen elements. So got this. So here I have to write which one to we have to map VBAK, VBLN, and where this value existed in work area. Work area VBAK, we have a field called VBELN. In that field, whatever the value we are getting, we are mapping into the screen element, first screen element. Similarly, we have to pass the remaining screen elements. So what is the next field name? ERDAT. In the work area, we have creation date. And we have the screen element VBAK ERDAT. And third element ERNAP. And we have to get it from the work area ERNAP. Finally, VB type. And here also VB type. Else part also will write. Suppose if the user entered the wrong input, if it is not existed, then we will write a message. No entries found for the specified key type, suppose error. So if user entered some input value, if it is extending the VBAK table, then it will be display, or else it will display error message. And let's save this one. Let me save everything, activate the program, and I'll execute in a new window. Suppose here I will enter 2. So I have taken only single input scenes for the output screen. So that is the reason I'm not giving the range. So you can take table control and you can give low and high value. So whenever we will press display button, so now we can see this is a model dialog. Okay, automatically it was not taken back and the screens. So what we'll do, we will write manually. This is for 300 model dialog box screen. So here I will create it. So you can see this OK button and this is cancel. So this I'll take it as continue and this I'll take it as a cancel. Oh, I have to write capital letters. Continue and this must be cancel. Hmm. Continue. So I'm not giving any information, just I'm giving a function text. Same for the cancel also. I will give function text as cancel. Hmm. Now I'll activate this one. So again, I'll activate the entire program. Again, I'll execute in a new window. I'll enter the input. I'll click on display. So model dialog box screen will be appear. Now see, continue and exit, cancel are there. But this related logic, I think I haven't written. I haven't written. So I will write the logic. So see how the screen is displaying based on the starting it, ending it values. It has taken the length and width. So you can adjust how much length and width we want. We can adjust it. So in this place, I told you to print table control. So you can take table control and display multiple records instead of single record. Because as here we are entering the selection screen. So give a range value and display it as a table. Now here continue, cancel is there. This one, okay. So continue, cancel. If user click on continue or cancel, it has to leave the screen and it will go to the previous screen. So that is my condition. So that I have to write under PI event of 300. Mhm. PI event of 300. Continue, cancel. So again here case, psi you come when continue, continue or cancel. So if user click on continue or cancel button, it has to leave to screen 100 end case. So let's see now. Again, I'll double click on the main program, activate it. I will execute in a new window. So I'll enter display. If I click on continue, so it is displaying main screen. Okay, it is displaying like a pop-up screen, right? Or else, what do we do? We will write leave to screen 0. Because it is appearing like a pop-up screen only again. So that is the reason. Now let's see. Input to, suppose if click on cancel, now main screen. Again, I'll enter input. I click on continue. Again, I came to the main screen. Okay, now it's working properly. So here, this selection screen we have created under the subscreen. So we have created a subscreen on a normal screen. Then we have called a subscreen with a statement called subscreen name, including current program name, that is side up ID, screen number. After that, I have taken a scenario like where the user entered the input. Based on that, it has to display the output in the model dialog box screen, not as a normal screen. Earlier, we have printed the data in the normal screen. Now we are printing the data in the model dialog box screen. So whenever we want to create using the screen model dialog box, we have to choose the radio button. Where is our program? So we have to choose the radio button of model dialog box. And whenever we write the logic, like whenever we call this model dialog box screen, you have to specify starting at and ending it. So it will create the size, the length and width of the model dialog box screen, like this. Any doubts? Vamshi, stop recording the session.